My name is Jeremy Rosbeck. I am with Broadcom for the last 17 years. And Broadcom recently acquired a company called Appneta, which allowed us to do what we've been doing inside the data center for so many years and extend that beyond the edge. So being able to see inside of ISP networks, cloud provider networks, to understand the health of the entire network experience. So let's go through a little scenario here. I used to run data centers for the likes of Northrop Grumman, T. Rowe Price in Baltimore, Department of Veterans Affairs, and this is what my network was like back in the day, right? Data center, branch offices, I knew every single packet, I knew every single route, I knew every single application, pretty much set it and forget it. But like we all know, especially with the pandemic, the entire network delivery experience has changed. We're working from home, we're working from here. Imagine if, I know we're, taking this video and live streaming it. So what does that network path look like, right? For here in New York, what ISP are we connecting to? What backhaul transit networks are we connected to? And finally, what cloud provider are we connected to? So the fact that 75 or even 80% of the user experience now runs across these unmanaged networks is here what we're helping you guys to solve. But then there's more complexity, right? When you move all your workloads out of your data center into SaaS environments, you're going to have network delivery blind spots because you are not the network god of that network delivery experience anymore, right? Talk about SD-WAN, one of the hottest software-defined technologies being deployed today. A lot of hype, does really good edge-to-edge type of performance correlation, application delivery. But I think we all know that the network experience is beyond just edge-to-edge. What's that true end-to-end SD-WAN experience look like? And then, of course, nobody needs more alarms. Sorry for all the Cisco guys out there, but Cisco ACI can produce 23,000 alarms and events. And no one inside of your network operations center needs to see that many alarms. Working from anywhere. So how do we understand where the productivity impact is when someone who is working from home is not even traversing your enterprise network anymore to get to Azure or Microsoft? So how do we help them identify the productivity impact inside of an unmanaged network? And then finally, zero trust. So any folks out there implementing SASE at the moment or investigating SASE? Yeah. So if we're going to funnel all of those users into some type of cloud-based access point to authenticate them, that's a bottleneck. So we need to talk about what that bottleneck, how that bottleneck could affect revenue and downtime. And this is what we're trying to solve for our customers, is to understand and help them isolate the error domain in what is this new enterprise network, right? We're working from anywhere. The network path is going to start at your home Wi-Fi or your laptop and then go across whatever residential or connected ISP you're at. Obviously traverse some more transit or backbone networks, and then finally get to whatever app or cloud SaaS infrastructure you're looking at. This is what we see with our customers and their challenges. How do we begin to bring in this visibility into the NOC when we don't manage any of these networks? So I have two girls. They're out of the house now, but they've been driving for a few years. Anybody have kids that are driving, like recently started driving? Yeah? All right, so my kid, she has had to replace 4 of her bumpers on her car, the front bumper. And I told her recently, when this happens again, you're going to have to handle it on your own. So you're going to have to call State Farm, and you're going to have to connect with them, and you deal with it. But the problem with that and today's new network is that my kid's going to call State Farm, and that agent's going to be at home. She's not going to be inside a corporate office anymore. A lot of customers still have their customer care centers, working from anywhere, not in the office. So that agent, when he or she is talking to my kid and my kid's trying to make a claim, cannot tell my kid, oh, I'm having Wi-Fi issues, or my internet seems to be down, and I can't help you with your claims because I can't get to the claims app in Azure. That's something that cannot happen. Infrastructure and network teams today are responsible for all the infrastructure inside the network delivery, whether they own the infrastructure or not. So that is what we're trying to help solve for you guys and our customers. It's to be able to, even if your customer care agent is having internet issues, isolate them quickly to understand, is it them or is it you, and then follow through with that. So we believe at Broadcom that there are 3 areas to help get to that success. One is to start optimizing your network operations center. This involves, bringing user experience metrics, the entire end-to-end network delivery visibility inside of the NOC, as much data as we can, and then quickly isolating the root cause, having very easy to use triage and troubleshooting workflows to be able to pinpoint exactly where the performance degradation is, whether it's on your network or outside of your network. We're here to help you accelerate network transformation. So Broadcom bought CA Technologies back in 2018. I'm former CA. We have always been multi-vendor agnostic. We've never sold any hardware before, so we continue to support the most coverage for the most popular software-defined vendors out there today. A lot of our customers are using multiple vendors for SD-WAN. Is anybody deploying SD-WAN or have deployed SD-WAN? Yeah? Using just one vendor or you have more than one? Just one? A lot of our customers will deploy more than 2 depending on the use case. So no one needs to go to this administrative console to look at the performance of Viptela and then go over here to look at the performance of, let's say, VeloCloud. Being able to unify what the health of the entire network looks like, even if it is new software defined. And then finally, being able to actively monitor, synthetically monitor, test the entire end-to-end network path. Again, from that customer care agent at State Farm in her house, over her home Wi-Fi, into, let's say, her residential ISP, Verizon, Comcast, out through the backhaul transit networks, and then finally into, let's say, Azure. That entire network experience, that end-to-end network experience, is that visibility we're trying to solve. So I'm just going to talk about a few success stories, and I'm sure these use cases are going to resonate with you guys. And then I'll invite you over to our Broadcom booth there if you want to have some more discussions. So as you can see here, Wells Fargo, a longtime customer of ours, very large Wi-Fi use case. So being able to understand at 90 different branch offices and banks, 3,200 access points. You can imagine the amount of users on these access points. But their use case is they want to be able to understand the LAN and the WAN and the Wi-Fi correlation. So maybe a switch goes down, which is affecting your access points, but the access points are aren't the problem. It's that switch that went down. So being able to understand and correlate Wi-Fi across LAN and WAN in a unified NOC observability platform is what we've been able to do for them. FIS is a financial institution that houses a lot of data and applications for other financial institutions. So this is a great story. So one of their customers were complaining for a long time that they weren't able to successfully utilize some data and applications inside their data center, and they kept blaming FIS for it. Something inside of your data center. It's not working. It's not working. So with the help of AppNeta and Broadcom, we were able to quickly isolate and understand that on the customer side, they had a misconfigured F5 load balancer that was not routing traffic appropriately, so the traffic wasn't even getting to the FIS data center. So that is what we call mean time to innocence, being able to prove that it's not us, it's them, but with the data or the insights to back that up and say, this is what you also need to fix. It's not us. Here's the device, packet loss, latency jitter. British Telecom Ireland, this article actually was just out recently, but I can't tell you how important it is when you start unifying all of your performance metrics, your latency, your fault, your flow into one management console, one portal, so you can easily see across your entire landscape what the health of the network is. You're able to see a reduction in alarms and events. We have 3+ decades of alarm noise reduction. Obviously, when you can get to the root cause faster, you're going to be able to improve your mean time to resolving those issues, and just being able to have everything relevant inside of the NOC for a health perspective, so they understand where to escalate and if they need to escalate. Another great Wi-Fi, large-scale Wi-Fi correlation with LAN and WAN is University of Michigan. Again, college kids out there, we've all been to campuses where everything is Wi-Fi, hundreds and hundreds of access points across the campus. So being able to understand, again, how is my Wi-Fi health performing as it correlates to LAN and WAN traditional performance is very important. Being able to understand and correlate that information so you have an overall health perspective of the entire infrastructure landscape. And then finally, SAP. Great software-defined data center use case. So just because you're deploying new software-defined technology and it's supposed to improve application delivery, lower your costs, secure application delivery with SD-WAN, doesn't mean it comes with its own complexity. Like I said, ACI can produce 23,000 new events and alarms. We don't need to see that inside of the NOC. It's going to delay triage and troubleshooting times. So being able to have a platform that takes in that information, correlates all the events, reduces all the alarm noise, and then just shows you quickly what the root cause is of an issue, especially in this ACI environment, is where SAP over in Europe was able to see some of these great improvements. 85% reduction in alarm noise. I mean, listen, when you have one alarm that's been correlated from 1,000 alarms, and your NOC operator sees that one alarm and can immediately start finding the root cause, you're going to have immense benefits to not only the network operations team, but the business. So again, we're concentrating on the broadest coverage for the most vendors out there today. Of course, we started with network monitoring 3 decades ago inside of the data center. We expanded that with our AppNeta acquisition to take what we've been doing for the last 30 years and push it outside of the edge of the network into ISP, into home Wi-Fi, into SaaS and cloud. And then being able to validate all of that information. So again, new SD-WAN deployments. You don't want to just throw it over the fence into production. You want to be able to understand what is the experience going to be across every single hop of our new SD-WAN deployment before we put it in production. Are there any bottlenecks that we can see? Fix them, and then get it into production with a completely high-scale tested environment that you know is going to be reliable. So listen, again, I invite you to our booth right there for any more questions, and then we're going to be demoing this exact solution today at 1:15 in the Connect Theater right over here. I'm happy to take any questions, or we can have some further conversations at the booth.